How you doing, guys? Got another deck profile for you here today, and it's Blackwings. Blackwings is an archetype I only recently got into, but I do really like them. Their build type is very similar to 6 Amps, a deck I'm one day hoping to do another deck profile on, but I'm still working on that deck, sadly to say, as I am still working on this Blackwing deck as well, but I've got it to the point where I quite like it, so we'll see how it goes. Again, if there's any comments, just leave them down below. If there's any suggestions, again, put them in the comments. You know the score. Okay, so let's get started. With the monsters, I run triple Shura. Is your main beater of the deck, and when he destroys something, will bring out another Blackwing with 1500 or less attack at the cost of its effect, which isn't too hefty a price to pay because, you know, you're running a lot of tuners, so the monster is still going to be a tuner at the end of the day, so bring out the tuner and then pull off the synchro summon. So triple Shura, and next up, triple Gale, because he's gone back up to 3. Yeah, main level 3 tuner of the deck, and his effect is amazing. He will half the attack and defense of an opponent's monster when he's summoned, and he can special summon himself if there's another Blackwing on the field. Now, Gale works incredibly well with Zephyros if you've got Zephyros in your graveyard, but we'll go over that later when I get to Zephyros. But yeah, Gale, very good card. Definitely run 3. And next up, triple Bora. Level 4, 1700 Piercer, special summons himself if there's another Blackwing on the field. So, incredibly good card. Next up, triple Kalut, the Moon Shadow. Kalut's the honest of the deck, so you want to run 3 just in case you find yourself in a pinch. Also works well with, you know, a trap card that I'm going to show you later on, or the alternative to that trap card. Again, I'll get to that later on, but yeah, it's your honest of the deck, Kalut. I run double Blizzard the Far North, your low level tuner of the deck, and when he's brought out, gives you a level 4 Blackwing from your graveyard, so instantly you can go into the synchro. Run 1 Steam because you can use him twice, so bring out Steam and say you can special summon Bora with that, use them to bring out a level 7 synchro. Steam leaves behind a token, and then you can sacrifice that token to bring Steam back from your graveyard. So you've instantly got yourself, you know, you've got that level 7 synchro that you brought out, plus you've got your Steam back, so you can set up for a level 10 synchro where you could bring out your Leo if you wanted, and that's a 3100 beater. 3100? 3100. Next up, 1 Zephyros the Elite. Dancing around putting more of him in, but 1 seems fine. You can bring him out by bouncing a card. If he's in your graveyard, bring him out by bouncing a card that's on your field back to your hand. A couple ways to run this is to run him with Fiendish Chain. If Fiendish Chain's sitting dead on something, and because your opponent's brought out something bigger, bounce the Fiendish Chain back, reset it, or if it's sitting in your graveyard and you have Gale, or you bring out Gale, half your opponent's attack and defense, bounce Gale back to bring out Zephyros, and then you can special summon Gale again, and half your opponent's attack and defense again, so you brought it down to a quarter, which is very, very helpful. So yeah, Zephyros, really good card. I run 1 Scirocco, very helpful early game because he is a Cyber Dragon in the deck, you know, special summons himself if your opponent's got something and you don't. His other effect is pretty cool. You can collect up all the attack of all the monsters on the field and add it all up to one of them, and then only that monster can attack. So what you'd want to do is say early game, special summon your Scirocco if your opponent's got a monster you don't, normal your Zephyros, and then special Bora because there's other Blackwings on the field. Collect up the attack, put it onto Bora, Bora can pierce. So it's 4,300 attack on Bora there. 5,300 even, 5,300 on a piercer. My maths is slow, which it shouldn't be. Anyway, moving on, last of the Blackwings is Kochi the Daybreak, who I only run one of, and if there's any Blackwing I'm going to drop in this deck is probably Kochi, because he's very limited. Because if he's special summoned he can't be used as a synchro material, which is kind of rubbish, but works for bringing out the higher level synchro monsters anyway. Last of the monsters, there's 3 left, 1 Max C, 1 Flying C, and 1 Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm because you're dealing solely with dark monsters, works well early game for getting some damage out there. Flying C for if your opponent's doing lots of Xyz summoning, and Max C for a bit of draw power if your opponent's going to do lots of summoning. Cool, that is it for the monsters. So next up, let's move on to the spells. Run triple Black Whirlwind. Brilliant card, searches for Blackwings for you when you bring something out. So you could say normal summon your Shura, which with Whirlwind lets you search for, say, Gale, and then you can pull off a level 7 synchro. Or you special your Gale because you can have your opponent's attack, synchro, and then cause some hell. So yeah, let you do your searching. Triple Pot of Duality just for a bit of draw power and consistency. 2 MSTs, but if you're going to drop anything, possibly drop these. You don't need your MSTs because you're running 3 Icarus attacks, and the Icarus attacks are causing a lot more destruction than these MSTs, so yeah, drop them. 1 Soul Charge because you're going to be filling up your graveyard quite a bit. 1 Allure because you're working with all darks. Book 'em in Dark Hole, just as staples. That's it for the spells. Not much because this deck's usually quite trap heavy, and well, let's get moving on to traps. Triple Icarus attack, staple because everything you're running except Maxi, Flying C and Dark Arm Dragon, they're all winged beasts. And how you want to use Icarus attack is you want to wait until your monster, say it's Shura, you want to wait until your monster's being targeted by something, and then you spring the Icarus attack to destroy things. There's no point, summoning a Shura to then, pull out an Icarus attack, because Shura can be used for much better things. But if you pull out Shura and your opponent, goes for Bottomless, then you spring the Icarus attack. Don't worry about using it early. Wait for your opponent to go and do something first, and then spring the Icarus attack on them. I've got a new addition to my deck. I literally made it today. New addition to the deck, and that's 2 and the Ban Played On. This is my slightly cheaper alternative to Vanity's Emptiness, because you're doing a lot of synchro summoning. You're not going to be special summoning much stuff with the the same level, and you'll want to run if you're using Shura's effect, you want to bring out something like Gale. So yeah, you're bringing out a lower level monster, so you can bring out the synchros. But and the band played on kind of shuts down a lot of the Xyz decks, like Cyber Dragons or Burning Abyss, and other decks that I can't seem to remember. But yeah, works well for synchros, causes hell for Xyz decks, but is slightly more limited than Vanity's Emptiness. Next up, 1 Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. Just works as a heavy storm of the deck. If you've got your 3 Blackwings, you can play it straight from your hand. But yeah, just causes a bit of hassle. That's another card you can kind of drop, because again you've got your triple Icarus attack. It's not completely necessary, but it just works well because it works with the archetype, I guess. And lastly, got 1 Torrential, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Soul Drain, and 1 Solemn. The other cards, I'm waiting on some arriving, then I should be able to finish up this deck. But the cards I'm waiting on arriving are 2 Vanity's Emptiness, 2 Fiendish Chain, and 1 Wiretap. I'm going to work them in somewhere. We'll see where. We'll see what I drop. But yeah, the Vanity's Emptiness will probably replace the and the band played on cards. Fiendish Chain, I'll probably drop the Mystical Space Typhoons, and for the Wiretap I'll probably drop Allure, because you don't need the dropper quite as much because you've got the 3 dualities. But yeah, that's what I'm doing there. My extra deck, for once, it's numerous, but it's not quite the cards you'd look to put in. It is a 12 card extra deck, if my counting is correct. Yeah, 12 card extra deck. Lacking in Xyz monsters. It's got a few synchro monsters, but not all the ideal ones. Xyz monsters I'd probably like to bring in would be your Evilswarm Exciton Knight and 101 Silent Honor Arc. But those are expensive, like stupid expensive. It's crazy how I try and explain to some people, like, yeah, people pay this. Anyway, sorry, knocked the camera a bit there. Yeah, so this is what we've got so far. We've got 1 Cowboy, just for game. 1 Heartland Draco, and 1 Zeraphine. Zeraphine works incredibly well because Wing Beast, so it's Icarus attack fodder, and it just, I believe it works at disabling effects. Yeah, works at disabling effects, so incredibly helpful there. That's all the Xyz monsters I have. As I say, like, I want to put more in, but they're very expensive. So take those away just now. 1 Armed Wing for piercing damage. 1 Black Rose for nuking the field. 1 Armor Master. 1 Stardust. 1 Thought Ruler Archfiend. 1 Silverwind the Ascendant. 1 Crimson Blader to shut down special summoning. 1 Mistworm. And 1 Leo as a beater. That is it. There's more I'd like to put in, I think. I'm trying to remember what I do need for this, but you know, my memory is terrible. But yeah, that is the extra deck. If you've got any thoughts on that, you know, leave them in the comments below. yeah, that's my Blackwing deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any suggestions or anything, as I've said repeatedly throughout this video, leave them in the comments. And yeah, cool. See you guys next time.